Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Pridelines secures historic $2.4 million grant for Miami-Dade's first LGBTQ+ youth housing. Today, it was announced that the Homeless Trust Executive Committee has approved Pridelines' $2.4 million to establish Miami-Dade's first LGBTQ+ youth housing over the next 2 years. The grant is the largest donation ever received by Pridelines. The Miami-Dade County Homeless Trust leads the oversight, planning, and operations of Miami-Dade County's homeless continuum of care. It helps over 5,000 people daily through supportive housing. The $2.4 million grant forms part of a broader grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, otherwise known as HUD, intended to tackle housing needs and homelessness. Utilizing this grant, Pridelines aims to implement comprehensive housing solutions. The grant will fund Pridelines' project Safe House at Rainbow Road, the first LGBTQ+ specific transitional and permanent rapid rehousing facility in Miami. It will accommodate up to 26 young people and offer them services like case management, mental health counseling, clinical care, and personal development. The need for LGBTQ+ housing in South Florida is driven by systemic discrimination, family rejection, and safety concerns. Current shelters often fail to meet LGBTQ+ individuals' needs, exacerbating health disparities and isolation. Establishing LGBTQ+ homeless housing in Miami-Dade County affirms dignity and promotes inclusivity. The $2.4 million grant hence marks a transformative step. Since 1982, Pridelines has been a steadfast supporter of Miami's LGBTQ+ community, offering shelter and housing support to queer youth and helping under-resourced and marginalized in combating HIV/AIDS. Pridelines Executive Director Dr. Edward Summers said on the new program, quote, "This grant is significant for Pridelines. We have an opportunity to make significant difference in the lives of young people faced with housing insecurity. We see so many young people daily who seek housing support, but we can't accommodate them. This grant will allow us to exponentially expand our work in supporting young LGBTQ youth. I am proud of the work of the staff, board, donors, and volunteers who have contributed in one way or another in making this opportunity possible. We stand on the shoulders of tremendous leaders who have led us to this point. I am beyond grateful," end quote. Don't miss Pridelines Gala on August 17th at the Coral Gables Golf Club and Country Club. I'll be there. Pridelines will be celebrating 42 years of service this year. Of course, Pridelines Executive Director Edward Summers is with us tonight. Edward, what did you think about when you received the largest grant in Pridelines history?
It's very humbling, and it's such a great honor to be awarded this. This grant is significant in several ways. One, it's a 2-year commitment with 3 years renewable, non-competitive. So we will likely, as long as we do a good job over the next 2 years, be able to get this grant renewed over a 3-year period. So 5 years total at the same levels, dependent funding from our federal government and what happens in our national politics. But it's a humbling experience in that, I fundamentally believe that we just do the work quietly. It's all about us just serving our community. Since I've taken leadership, I'm like, let's just continue to do the work. Let's just do the work. Let's serve our community. Let's make sure that we have the programs in place and the supportive services in place. We, on a daily basis, deal with so many young people who are housing insecure, and we use the money that we raise to put them up in temporary shelter, such as Airbnbs, hostels, hotels, really whatever we can find, because we don't have our own housing at this point. So this gives us significant opportunity to build our own housing, which we've already located some housing. We're already on top of it. Once we heard word that we were potentially going to get this, we already jumped on top of locating some housing. But this not only has the implications for the young people that will be in the housing. So we have about 26 people that will be in the housing, give or take at one time. That will change, right? Over a 2-year period. Some people will, leave, we'll include more people in. So we have the opportunity to probably impact about 50 to 60 young people over a 2+ year period, because we want people to come in, depending on where they're at. They may just need 3 months of temporary housing, and then they go out into the real world. But this frees up our dollars to help other people that are non-youth. And what we've seen in Pridelines is more and more members of our community who are not 18 to 24 who need housing, who need support. who need an upper hand. I mean, I can't begin to tell you the number of people that this year, under my leadership, we've paid their rent. We've given them temporary shelter, then placed them in an apartment. So this frees up dollars to continue to help other members of our community who just needs a temporary help. It is very expensive to live in South Florida.
Yes.
Very, very expensive. To get a studio is $2,000 in Miami Dade where we cover. And so it's very expensive. So this really gives us an opportunity to uplift all members of our community, no matter your age. So this has significant implications for other aspects of the community that we serve. So we're very proud of this. It's very significant. It is the largest gift that we've received in Pridelines history. And so I'm very proud of the work that we do at the organization. I'm very proud that the Homeless Trust recognizes the work that we do and the contributions that we made. But I would be remiss to say this. We stand on the shoulders of everybody who came before me. It's not just about my leadership. It's about the people that came before me. So Victor Diaz-Herman, you know, we have Luigi Ferraro, who now works at the health department, Josue Santiago, and of course, you know, our founders. So we stand on their legacy. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And Pridelines has been around for 42 years. We are one of the oldest LGBTQ servant organizations in South Florida and in Florida. So 42 years of service.
You know, housing is such an important factor. We hear about it all the time. Up here in Broward, we hear it. We talk about the youth, and I've only known you for about a year. It seems like it's a year since we met, I think, roughly. But the things that you've accomplished and done is wonderful. And as I keep saying, when are you coming to Broward?
I live here. So.
Yes.
We're inching away. No, joking. No, I mean, honestly, like, you know, we're grateful for some of the partners here in Broward that we've worked with. We have worked with, you know, the Pride House, where we recommend young people, but they're capacity at 12 young people. And their program is a little bit different than the model that we're pursuing. So their model is a 3-month model. Our model is a two-year model. So depending on where young people are at, they can stay with us. At minimum, we want them to stay with us probably 6 months, because our model is focused on a trauma-informed approach, where young people, if you're homeless, you've dealt with some sort of trauma, right? You're homeless for a reason. So we want you to heal first before even throwing in your face, go get an education, go get a job. Work on yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on becoming a whole person, right? And so that's our model, is really based on this trauma-informed approach. So for the first couple of months, we want you to just become human again, right? And deal with yourself and grow and develop. And then after that, we want to focus on those other things that allow you to participate in our democracy, right? Like becoming more educated or trained and getting a job, just working with other various government entities to make sure that you have all the supportive services that you need. But we want your first 6 months to really, 3 to 6 months to be you healing, you developing, you working with our therapists, you go into groups, and then also you enjoying everything that life has to offer. Because oftentimes young people who are in this situation haven't really realized life or enjoyed life yet. So let's throw in some barbecues, let's throw in some pool parties, let's throw in some trips to Orlando, right? During that first couple of months, so that you really experience the world before you have all this pressure on you. So we're very, very excited about this opportunity and this model. You could contact Pridelines to info@pridelines.org to learn more about this, or visit our website at pridelines.org. It's very significant for us. And I should say very historic for Miami-Dade as well, because we have no LGBTQ housing. So this is very, very historic moment. And the Homeless Trust, kudos to them for their trust in us, despite the state politics here and the anti-LGBTQ movement. We have been able to achieve such a huge milestone. So this is huge for us, and quite frankly, it sets precedents for other public funding for other parts of our state, such as Broward, right?